It always works better when I push the button. It always works better when I press the button to say, let's go live. So I've been talking to myself for a couple minutes here. All right, so we're going to stop talking to myself. I'm going to go back to talking to you. I'm sorry, I was inadvertently talking to myself for a couple minutes. So I'm sorry to have to delay our time together today, but I'm so grateful to be back with you, and I'm so grateful for time with very, very special friend, and don't always have that opportunity, so really grateful for all of that. So I am so happy to be back with you. We are in this time of the Parade of Planets. So we are in the waning of the moon. So the moon is coming back down from the full moon. It's coming back down into the time of the new moon. Let's see, when is the new moon going to be? The new moon is going to be on Thursday. So we're really coming to the end of that time. And we are right now in what's called the Parade of Planets. And this is where the planets all line up. So you can see that they're all in this sort of in the same line. You'll be able to see them all in the night sky. Tonight really is a great night, especially if you're a little bit further north, if you're in the like New York area of the northern hemisphere of the United States. You can, this is alignment of 6 planets, and so this morning was really the pinnacle, but you'll still be able to see. And so this is 6 planets that are all coming together. So there's going to be more opportunities to see this, but you'll be able to see this, I think, tonight and then also tomorrow morning as well. So we have Mercury, we have Jupiter, we have Uranus, we have Mars, we have Neptune and Saturn. So you won't be able to see all of them because they're far away, but you will be able to get to see these, and some of them may also be obscured because they'll be behind the other planets, but you will be able to get to see this beautiful lineup of the planets in the sky, especially if you're somebody who has a telescope. You'll be able to get this great visual on the planets lining up. Now, what's so cool about this is all the planets in alignment. So this doesn't happen, it does happen on a cycle, but it doesn't happen so regularly. So we are going to get another opportunity to see these again in, let me see, Uranus and Neptune are too far away. So we probably won't be able to see those. But as June goes on, because the planets, they move with our orbit, they move a little bit. So we're going to be able to see them coming into alignment, and then as they slowly move out of alignment. So all through the next week or so for sure. But we're going to have, this is going to continue on. It says that another opportunity to see them in alignment is going to be toward the end of this month at June. So at the end of June, so in the 29th. So right now the planets are kind of closer to the sun, which makes them harder to see. And so as we go through the month of June, they will be more, they'll be a little bit further away from the sun, and we will have a better opportunity to see them. They won't be sort of whited out by the sun, is kind of what's going on. So this is good news. We'll have more opportunities to see these planets. And again, if you're somebody who has a telescope, you'll be able to get a great view. What does this mean for us? This is putting a lot of planets into the house, into the sign. Where are we right now? Are we in Cancer, I think? Into this sign. So this is a time to really evaluate, because things are in alignment, right? Right now, everything, they say getting all your ducks in a row, right? So this is a really good time to be looking at getting your ducks in a row. Are you doing things in your life that maybe you don't want to be doing? Are you, feeling stuck in a job that you don't want to be in? Are you feeling maybe you want to move, maybe you want to take that vacation you've always wanted to take and you just keep saying someday, someday, someday. So this is a really important time for evaluation to say, well, where am I and where am I trying to go and what is it that I want to do? And this is a great time to take stock in all the different areas of your life because you have all these planets that are into alignment. So this is a great time to sort of send out your wish, your vibe, your manifestation, and just let it go right on down the line. And then the planets that are going to be able to take that and run with it the most are going to be like, oh, I got this one, I got this one, I got this one. And so it's really important that we're taking some of this time, and we have all of the month of June to do this because while the planets have just come into this alignment, this parade of planets, they're going to stay in this lineup in one form or another really until the end of this month. So this is a great opportunity for us to be able to say, okay, let's look at the different aspects of life and see what it is that where we're happy and where maybe we would like to make a change. So this could be your relationship. Now, again, it's not everybody don't run out and get a marriage or divorce, right? But maybe there's some things that need to shift. Perhaps we need to have that conversation with our partner that says, hey, I would like to move this relationship in this direction or that direction. Perhaps this is a time to have the conversation that says, I'd really appreciate it if you could this, and if there's something that you need me to do, we want to be open to receive as well. With a job, have you been thinking of applying for a promotion? Have you been, thinking you need to apply for a different job? Is there something that's going on where you live or where you travel? Have you been meaning to take more of a control of your investment? Do you have a savings account? Have you been meaning to put money in, but it could be hard? I want to tell you, when it comes to savings, I am so down with that. It can be really, really hard, especially we got to pay this, and sometimes the money, the money runs out before the end of the month, right? So this is a great thing where even if you can take $1 a week, okay, $1 a week, because you put $1 a week into a savings account, and at the end of the month you're going to have $4, right? And as it starts to grow, so next month you'll have $8, but then you earn a little interest, so maybe you have $8.10, and if you're putting in $1 every week, it really will make a difference. Because see, here's the thing that happens as we go forward, we get to a point where like, I bet I could put $1.50 in this week. Maybe we do that for a couple of weeks, $1.50, $1.50, and then maybe the next month you can put in $2 a week. Okay, so it isn't about, I don't have, this is where we get caught up, right? I don't have enough to, hi sweetheart, I don't have enough to be able to do what others are doing, so I'm not going to do anything. Okay, so we can take this and apply it to a lot of places, right? So I can't start saving because I don't have enough. I'm going to tell you, you can start saving with $0.25, okay? You can start saving with 25 cents. It doesn't matter. You just start, okay? I have a girlfriend who said this very famously. It's been repeated through our group of friends a bunch of times. You can start a diet in the middle of a bag of potato chips. You can literally just decide that I am now going to make a shift right now. I'm going to put down the bag of chips. I'm going to, whatever. So wherever it is that you're feeling like you want or need to make a change, the important part is that you are taking time to take stock so that you are identifying, do I need to make a change? What is it that I want to make a change with? And then the other part is staying away from the comparison part, right? Because comparison is the death of all things, good. So when we are comparing, we're like, I'm not doing what they're doing, so I must not be doing it right, or I must not be doing enough. To be able to say, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Because the thing is that it's not important that you're doing here that people who maybe are in a different income bracket or have been saving for years and years and years are doing. What's important is that we get in the game. And you've heard me say that so many times. What's important is that we do something, right? So if your thing is a penny, if your thing is a quarter, if your thing is $1, maybe it's $20 a week, whatever it is, to do something to start the process. Because here's the thing what happens. When you put in that $1, and then over the course of, do that for 4 weeks, now you have $4. So now $4 are earning interest. And so maybe interest is like 1%, okay? And I'm not doing math. I'm not even going to say what that is. Okay, maybe that's like 4 cents, okay? So, but the next month, now you have $8, okay? Now that same $8 is earning 1%, for example. I know interest rates are much higher, so interest rates are much better. But so you say 8%, so now you're getting 8 cents instead of 4 cents. And the next month you have $12, so now you're getting 12. So your interest is growing along with what you're putting in. So even if you're putting in just the littlest bit, you're still earning interest, right? So the interest is earning on, because now you don't just have $4, you have $4.04. And then you have $8, and plus that 8 cents plus the original 4 cents, you have $8.12. So it's compounding, it's growing, and it'll grow faster than you think if you get started somewhere. So it's important that you do something to get started. Okay, so that's a financial idea. But what about if it is, the dogs think it's a great idea. What about if it's a health idea? Do you know that you can literally just walk around the block? So a couple years ago I had, hey. A couple years ago I had knee surgery. And when I had knee surgery and I first got up to go walking, I live, you probably can't see it out my window, but right behind me is a short street with a cul-de-sac. And so when I started walking, the dogs are barking on the truth. You're right. So also we have an extra dog this week. So hi. So there's a cul-de-sac right here, and so I would walk, and I went out to the driveway, and I went to the end of the cul-de-sac, and it took me 45 minutes walking like that, step and step. I mean, it was so slow, but that was okay because that was where I was, having just come off of knee surgery. And so I took step by step, and it took me 45 minutes to get around this cul-de-sac. It's not that big of a street, and it really, you could walk it. I mean, we walk our dogs there right now. It takes 10 minutes, So we have to start somewhere, okay? So I will say this coming Saturday, I am doing, I do one 5K a year. And I've been training for my 5K. I do the Pulse 4.9K. It is in memorial remembrance of the 49 people that were murdered at the Pulse nightclub here in Orlando. And so the Pulse Memorial Run, the community fun run, is this Saturday. So I've been training, and so where last year I did it in 56 minutes, this week I've been running that same distance, a little bit longer than that distance, at 44 minutes. So I'm looking forward to it, but that's a year, okay, of a very inconsistent year, okay? We went away, we traveled, my husband had a heart attack, a very inconsistent year of running, but we started somewhere. I started somewhere. And so I'm really excited for Saturday to see what is, what my time is going to be. To whatever it is, it's great because it's something better than nothing, right? So we start somewhere, and we don't look around and go, oh my God, those people are faster than me and they're walking. We just say, I'm doing something. I'm doing something for me, and whatever it is, it's more than I did yesterday. And that's the goal. We are not in competition or comparison with anybody else. And so right now, while we have this parade of planets and we have all these planets lining up, this is the time to take stock. To say, okay, what am I looking at with my health, my job, my home life, my home location, my relationship, my kids, my parents, my education? Am I learning something? Am I feeding my brain? Am I feeding something? We need to take knowledge in. This is something that fuels us. And I understand if you're not a big school person, you're not a big learner, that's okay. You might want to learn about something that's interesting to you. So my older son, he's very much about video games and Star Wars. And my mom, when he was growing up, she would say, he doesn't talk to me about anything. And I said, you're trying to talk to him about what he wants to talk about. Why don't you just sit down and let him tell you what he wants to talk about, what's interesting to him. When it's interesting to him, he knows all. It's like people who follow baseball. They know all the stats, all the players, all the teams, who's in the standings, all the things. So he could tell you anything you want about Star Wars. I cannot tell. I mean, I can tell you, I'm an OG Star Wars, right, from the 70s. So because that's what's important to him. So it doesn't matter what knowledge you're taking in. He's also on, what's it called? Duolingo, which is a free app where he's learning Spanish, 5 minutes a day. So he's taking in knowledge, but he's taking in knowledge that was interesting to him because the people he worked with were bilingual, and he wanted to be able to be part of that. So whatever it is that is working or that is sparking you that says, I'd really like to learn more about that. It could be underwater basket weaving. It doesn't matter because none of this is about school or grade or, your permanent record. It's about feeding yourself, feeding your soul, feeding your knowledge to create some spark in our brain so that we get out of our space and we go and interact with other people and we say, you know, I learned something interesting the other day. And so this is part of being alive. It's part of being a manifester. It's part of being in co-creation with the universe. We cannot co-create with the universe when we just sit as a lump on the couch. We have to be putting something out into the universe, receiving something back. We've got to be part of the mix, right? Again, getting in the game. You've all heard me say that so many times. But we've got to be part of the mix, right? We can't make the cake with just flour and water and sugar. We need eggs. We need milk. We need to get involved. So this is the time, this is such a brilliant time for us to take some stock and say, what is it? What is it? These days, there's so much available information and classes and seminars and things you can do. There's a whole online university that's like, most of it is free, where you can just take classes. You kind of go into Zoom and you look at a class from Harvard and you can watch what they're doing. There's so many opportunities for us to learn. The thing is that it keeps us engaged in the world around us, and it keeps us connected to ourselves. And when we put knowledge in, any kind, with any kind of knowledge, we're stimulating this part of our brain so that the other part of the brain says, hey, wait a minute, like the subconscious mind part says, hey, wait a minute, wouldn't it be great if I could do this? So some people will get a lot of downloads and that subconscious mind information coming from meditation, right? We sit quietly, and information comes in. Other people need more active meditation. They need they need to do something. So there's walking meditations, there's tea drinking meditations. But sometimes when we're taking knowledge in, when we're listening to someone else teach us something and we're paying attention and we're taking knowledge in, that subconscious mind goes, oh, you know what would be really great? Might not even have anything to do with what we're listening to, but you know what would be really great? To be able to go, oh, da-da-da-da-da, and like, that's something I really want in my life that I didn't know. But we are stimulating the brain, which activates different parts. And also when we are activating this part that's like interested and I want to learn and I want to be, put in this knowledge and I want to, get that, we're activating the left brain. And what happens when we activate the left brain is it gives the right brain, which is the creative part, the subconscious mind, the part that connects with higher spirit and guidance and the angels and our loved ones, we give that right brain some freedom so that the left brain's not sitting on it all the time, right? Because the left brain wants to be in control. And the left brain is going to sit on that all the time. And the right brain, when we can activate the left brain and we get it engaged in something that's like, oh, it's over here, that's really interesting. The right brain's going, whoo, we can throw off the coat, we can go out and play, we can do something more interesting. Something that's interesting here. We can communicate at a higher level. We can bring in more information that the left brain can use later. Okay, so we're freeing up the right brain because we're like taking the babysitter away and we're letting that left brain, we're letting the right brain really stretch. Okay, so whether you're doing that with meditation or you're doing that with putting knowledge in, something that is engaging your brain. So there's so many different aspects of our life. And so I really want to encourage you to take this time, and don't wait until June 29th. Don't wait until the end of June. Take this time to really look at the different aspects of your life. Okay, how are my finances? How is my job? How are my personal relationships? Am I reaching out to friends? Am I staying connected? Am I staying involved? Am I giving something back to the community? How's my relationship with my family? Both generations above, generations below, side to side, cousins, sisters, whatever. What's going on? Like looking at the different aspects of our life and taking a minute to say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy am I with this? And if I had all the power in the world, what would I change? Okay? And so, we don't necessarily have all the power in the world, but we do have all the power in our own lives to be able to say, well, I would change this. Okay, so if you have identified something, like if I had all the power in the world, this is what I would change. Like, okay, so what's one thing you could do towards that goal to make that change? We don't have to know the whole plan. We don't have to be like, oh, if I was going to make that change, I need to do this, 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 and this, because that can be overwhelming. But if you know on a scale of 1 to 10, what would I change if I had all the power in the world? And I would change that. Okay, write it down, acknowledge it. What's one thing I could do to move myself in that direction? Okay, so this is one of the best times to do this because we have this whole parade of planets. It's like going down the receiving line of manifestation to be able to say all the planets, 6 of 9 are lined up right now. 6 of 9, okay? Earth being one of them, and the other one is like Pluto and, where's the other one? What's the other one that's missing? Pluto and, not Neptune, Neptune's in it. Let me see, I need to go back to my list of all the planets. Okay, so I gotta find my list of all the planets. Hang on. Neptune and Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn. I'm singing, don't laugh, I'm singing the Blues Clues planet song in my head. I can't think of it. Okay, so, so there's 9 planets. So we have Earth and Pluto are 2 of them that are not in this align. Hello, 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 hello. So this is a great time. It's like the receiving line of manifestation to be able to say, here's what I would love to do. Here's what I'd love to throw out into the universe. Here's what I would love to create or change or manifest in co-creation with the universe. And you send it down the line of these planets that are lined up like that. Super cool, Angela, that we are sending this down the line of all the planets. And thank you, Elias. Always thank you, my friend. Thank you. That we send this down the planets and we say, here's what I'm looking for. Here's what I want to co-create. And the planets that are in that space, that are in that sign, that are in that place of co-creation, they're going to be like, oh, I got this one. Mercury's going to take this one. Nope, Saturn's going to take this one. And then we're going to be able to, hi Brenda, to be able to have that co-creation. But here's the thing, you've heard me say it 100 times, get in the game. So this is a really important time that we are having to take, that strongly encouraged to take stock of what is going on in our lives, the different aspects of our life, and how satisfied are you? How satisfied? We are allowed and encouraged to take a minute and say, is this working for me? Is what I'm doing working for me? And so often we just put our blinders on and we get through and we don't stop to ask, is this working for me? Am I really on the right path? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this bringing me joy? Is it bringing me financial stability? Is it bringing some kind of blessing? Or am I just doing this because I felt like I'm supposed to, or people think I'm supposed to? Stop and take a minute and see where you are on your path, on your life, in the different aspects of your existence, and see what is working for you and what is not, and what you would change. And then when you find something that you say, I would change this, ask yourself, what is one step that I could take on in that direction to make that change? What is one thing I could do to make a change in that direction, to start moving myself forward? And if you're not a person who has a savings account, if you're not a big saver, I want to say this again. I know people are dealing with inflation. I know people are having different thoughts about the economy and whatnot. I want to say this. Even if you start with a quarter a week, do something for savings, okay? And don't just put it in a jar, okay? Because the jar is not going to earn you interest. Now, depending on your bank account, you might need to start with a jar for, until you have $10 or so. But to be able to say, I'm going to start with 25 cents, and I'm going to put it in this jar or in this bank account, and then each week I'm going to put 25 cents. If you can do $1, do $1. You'd have $4. Go back, watch. I talked about this already. The compounding interest, it makes a huge difference, but we've got to start somewhere. To create financial abundance in our world, we have to start with the belief that we deserve financial abundance and we're capable of financial abundance, and that means we've got to participate in financial abundance. I can wish and manifest and pray and believe, and I can do cups, and I can do all the different things to create financial abundance. But if I'm not willing to physically take money and put it aside for financial gain, financial abundance, because I believe I'm worth it, my family's worth it, and it's possible, there will never be financial abundance. We've got to start somewhere, okay? So if you take nothing else away today, start with that, okay? Start with that. Something that you can put and then get it into a bank account. Even if it's earning 1% interest, it's something. And then when you get a little bit more money saved up, you can move into a higher interest. Sometimes the higher interest savings accounts have a minimum. So take a look at that. Alliant Federal Credit Union is a great place to start. I love also Climate First Bank. Climate is here in Florida, but they have accounts all over the country now, and they are an environmentally friendly bank. So I don't know if they do international banking. I'm sure they probably do or are getting there. But they are, I love the fact that they are an environmentally friendly bank, which means that they take the money that we put in the bank accounts and they invest it in environmentally friendly projects. So it's definitely worth it to, if you're someone like me who believes in saving the environment, to put your money quite literally where your mouth is. So those are two that I really enjoy working with. We also use Vanguard for investments, but you need about $3,000 to start with them. So it's just starting somewhere, right? And I think at Alliant you can start with, $25, $50, $100, something like that. Okay, so I want financial abundance for all of us, and that means we're going to talk about it. Okay, because I think people get a little weirded out; they don't want to talk about money. And so I think maybe it's time for us to start talking about it. I'm not sure exactly why that's coming in so strong today, but I think maybe it's time for us to start talking about it, that we need to talk about what to do with money. I am somebody, if you don't know about me already, I am somebody who has fought Bank of America, who in 2009, they tried to steal my home. And we were in and out of foreclosure 6 different times, and I'm still living in my home. We stood up to the big bank, and we also stood up to the credit card companies, who around that same time were raising everybody's interest rates and lowering their credit line, so everybody looked like they were maxed out, so everybody had crappy credit, and then they were making everybody pay lots and lots of money, and so all these kind of people were having financial issues because the banks caused it. So we stood up to them as well. So I'm happy to tell my stories to help people understand how we fought financial tyranny and to be able to create a better, more abundant life for us by not being scared of the banks who love to threaten you with, your credit rating and your credit report and, all this kind of stuff. And so maybe that's something we need to talk about, because I really want to start talking about financial abundance with people, because it feels like this is a real important conversation to have. All right, so we're going to pull an animal spirit card. You have seen me do this before. Thanks, Brenda. I don't feel amazing, but I appreciate it. I just doing my best in the world to help other people. So we're going to start with Stephen Farmer's Animal Spirit Cards, messages from your Animal Spirit Cards, because I love this deck. So I always like to start with an animal, an Animal Spirit card, because animals have so much to tell us, right? So much to tell us. I want to say a big thank you again to my dear friend Elias Patras for shooting a share out there and bringing some new people our way. That's always so exciting. I need to get my glasses so I can read what the card says. So this is the falcon. The falcon, it says, act on the opportunity that's before you and commit to it without equivocation. So this means that it's really time for us to get in the game. It's really time for us to take the stock of what's going on with us and what's going on around us. The planets are lined up. The planets are saying, hey, this is a great time for opportunities to be presented to us. And so this is really important as we go through this month of June. As opportunities are being presented to us, we really want to make sure that we're saying, is this the right, is this my opportunity? If it feels right in your guts, go for it. Okay, now keeping in mind that the new moon is, I love seeing all these new names. The new moon is Thursday, right? Is that what I said? The new moon is Thursday? Depends on where you are. The new moon is Thursday. If you're not in the United States, it might be Friday. So just know that the new moon is coming. So this is a really important time while we're in this waning period of the moon, so that we are, excellent. Angela's been thinking about financial abundance, and thanks for the validation. Absolutely, absolutely. So I am not a financial advisor. Please do not understand. I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just saying get in the game, okay? And I'm trying to encourage you that if you feel like you don't have the ability to get into the game, that you do. Okay, so that's an opportunity. That's an opportunity that's right in front of you to act on right away. Don't miss the opportunity. That's exactly what the falcon says. It says act on the opportunity that's right before you and commit to it without equivocation. So this is the what it's saying. So this is really, really important. So financial abundance is a really big part of this, okay? This is probably why I've been so pushed to talk about it. We can all have this, but as we are coming into this time of the new moon on Thursday, we want to really make sure we're taking the time to say, okay, what is it I'm taking stock of in my life, so that we are catching on to this parade of the planets, and we're being ready, because the new moon is the time of making the wish. The new moon is the time of the manifestation. The new moon is the time where we say, this is what I want to do this moon cycle. Okay, this is where we've got to have our stuff together, so we're able to say, here we are, the starting line is the new moon, and so the new moon, we say, here's what we're doing, ready to go, and go. Okay, so we've got, on today's Monday, we've got all week, we've got till Thursday, and you know, the moon, we've got that 48-hour window, right? You've heard me say before that energy is not on or off like a light switch. So we've got coming into the full moon energy, the actual full moon energy, coming out of the full moon energy, like that. Okay, so this is a really great time, and it just feels like financial abundance, financial getting involved in getting control of your finances. Like, I see this advertisement for this app all the time, Rocket something, that'll tell you how many like subscriptions you have that you might not even know. Like, if you're somebody like me, you know where all your money is going. But do you need that? Like, what? And I'm not saying do you need that app, but if you have a subscription to something that is being auto-renewed, is it something you need? I found I got a charge on my bank, and I said, what is this? And it was a subscription that I had, but they actually had me down for 2 subscriptions on 2 different emails. So I was like, oh, heck no, now we're not doing that. So what is it that you can, that's, let's say that was $30. I'm like, well, heck, that's $30 in the month that I can put towards my, my savings. So to be able to take control of aspects of your life, because so often we are convinced by outside forces that we don't have control, and we do. How you move through your life is so much a part of your desires, your beliefs, your deserve level, and how you choose to show up in the world. And so we've tried to always teach our kids to never feel like they were trapped by a job or a mortgage. So if you're in a job that you don't like, this is a great time to start looking for something else. Okay? So if you feel like you're trapped in a housing situation that is not, this is a great time to look for what else. Okay? And I'm not telling anybody to run out and sell their house or get divorced or married or anything. I'm telling you to take a look. I'm telling you to be an active participant in your life. So often we just go through. And it's like, oh, this is today, and we go to work, and I'm going to do the thing, and I'm going to come home. And we just are not paying attention, and we're not taking time to take stock of our lives, of the different aspects, to say, is this working for me? And so here I am to give you permission and encouragement and say, this is yours. You are the star of your own life. Take time to look at it and say, is this working for me? And if it isn't, ask yourself, how, if I had all the power in the world, what would I change? And then you ask yourself, what is one thing I could do to move in that direction? It doesn't have to be hard. We don't have to know all the answers to start. Just got to start. After 31 years, I don't know if you're happy. I get it. My husband and I just passed 28. I get it. And there was a real period of time around 20-ish that I wasn't sure if we were going to make it, to be honest. We started, and this is, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but this is a conversation for maybe another day. I see you, Tracy. We're going to do group card readings, and then we'll do card readings for the individuals after we do the group card reading. So Laura, my husband and I, we sat down and we decided to start dating ourselves. So we started to have date night, and we would go and do something, no phones, no kids, and we would just go do something. And we didn't do a movie. We didn't do a movie because we wanted to be in a place where we could talk, we could communicate. And so we did once a week, and sometimes we just took a walk. And we do that a lot because we enjoyed it. We found out we enjoyed it. We'd just talk to each other. We'd go for a walk. We'd sometimes take a dog, maybe not take a dog. Right now I got 4 dogs in my house, normally 3. So Laura, maybe that's something. Because when we get in that zombie space where we're just going through the moments, I don't think we even remember what happiness feels like. Like, I don't know, are you happy? I don't know, because I'm just going through. I mean, it's just life, right? But you get to be happy. You get to. But it's not, it doesn't just fall in your lap. You got to work for it. You got to be engaged in it. That's what I'm trying to say. You got to be engaged in it. So, I don't want to be like I'm not connected into anyone's specific energy to do some marriage counseling, but I will say very often our partners have no idea how we feel, and very often our partners feel similarly, but they have no idea what to do either. So you might start with taking a walk. and see if maybe that's something that just helps. And I know in the beginning it was awkward. It was awkward. We didn't say nothing. We didn't have stuff to talk about. Then we get to fight. Somebody say something, and we get to walk and be like, oh, I can't believe you said that. And we got to fight, and then we built communication skills. I think a lot of us have lost communication skills with our partners, and so it takes at least one person. We expect our partners to be the mind reader, and how come they don't know I'm not happy? Well, maybe we didn't ever tell them. So I kept expecting my partner to know I was miserable. See, the dogs know that's the truth. I kept expecting him to know. How would he tell him? I didn't ever tell him I was miserable. So how would he know? Delivery. All right, so we're going to pull 3 cards. All right, he's gone. All right, so, isn't this so interesting? So the first card is, where are we on the path? What's going on? Hey, Pluto, stop, Pluto. So the first card is chop wood, and chop wood reminds us that we got to do the work, right? Chop wood reminds us that we're a part of it, that we are, hey, that is enough. Shh, that's enough, Pluto. So it's important that we are doing the work that's in front of us, right? The chop wood reminds us that it's our job to get in the game and to talk to, to do the task. Exactly what the Falcon was saying is do the task that's in front of you. The chop wood card is the same message, right? Doing the task that's in front of you, being part of getting in the game, right? And so when we're dealing with our partners, I hear you, Laura. I hear you. And, I'm happy to talk to you more about this because I can feel the frustration. I can feel. But to be able to ask him, because it may not be about you telling him, it may be about you asking him, asking what he wants and asking if he's happy and asking what he suggests, because it's got to be coming from both sides. None of us do well if we say, well, I'm not happy and it is all your fault. Okay? So we've got to be part of the team. And it was hard because that was where I started with my husband. I was like, I'm not happy and it's all your fault. And, I blame you completely and, blah, blah. And so we had to come together and we had to each be willing. Now, that's the thing, because some people are and some people are not. We had to each be willing to own our part of it. Well, here's where, I'm pissing you off and here's where you're pissing me off, and how can we stop pissing each other off? How can we find a better way to communicate? Okay, so it may be more than just telling him that you're not happy, but asking how he feels and what's going on with him, with your partner as well. Because here's the second card, is what else do we need to know about the situation? And this is the card that says why. This card, it's upside down, it's in the protection. This is the card that says why. And the why card is all about what is our motive and what's going on, but when it's upside down, it is understanding that the motives perhaps may not be clear and that there might be some manipulation going on. So we want to make sure that we're not I'm trying to get the glare off. So we want to make sure that we're not the manipulators and that we are not trying to manipulate or trap our partner into something else, but that we want to be very clear and be straightforward with what is coming up for us. So if we're taking stock, as we've suggested and discussed, if we're taking that time to take stock and say, okay, here's what's going on with me, then we want to make sure that we're coming from a place of what's going on with us and not what is going on with them. We can only fix ourselves. We can only change ourselves. We can't change somebody else, right? We can try, but my husband had to be willing to change and to be willing to participate in the conversation and to be willing to participate in the growth process. I, at the same time, also had to be willing to participate. So we can't make somebody do it. So if I'm going to say, I'm going to talk to him and we're going to go for a walk because I want to change him and I want to fix him, that's not the right motivation, right? So we're asking ourselves, really, what is it that we want? What is it that we want? And so we go back to what I said before. What is it that you want? If you have all the power, what is it that you want? And then what's one step that you can take towards creating that? Okay? And I'll tell you, it was not quick. It was not easy. It was not quick. It was not easy. It was not quick. It was not easy. And there were many, 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 many days where my husband and I sat on the floor in our bedroom. We sat on the floor in our bedroom for 3 months. Okay? Every morning. And not everybody has this ability, but we sat on the floor in our bedroom for 3 months, okay, for about 30 minutes every day. And we did it in the morning because we didn't want to do it when we were tired and aggravated from the day. Okay, we did it in the morning. And we just talked about something, some subject, some aspect that we were working on. And when the 30 minutes was up, we said, okay, we're putting this to the side. We're going to hug. We're going to release whatever feelings have come up with that. We're going to leave those to the side, and we're going to go about our day. And tomorrow we're going to pick this up where we were, or maybe we talk about something else. It took 3 months before we even had a framework that we could really talk to each other, where we could like communicate, where he would say something and I wouldn't be like, ah, and he's like, that's not what I said. Or I would say something and he'd be like, ah, and and I'm like, that's not what I said. So it took us a long time to create a conversation like where we could actually communicate with each other without the other person just being all, ah, because we get very defensive over time, right? And so it took that time to create that. But at the same time, we want to make sure that, are we in it for the right reasons? Like, what is it that we're trying to create with our partner? What is it that we're trying to create within ourselves or any other aspect of our lives, right? So when we're sitting down and we're taking stock of our lives and we're saying, what is it that I want to change? What is it I want to manifest in this time? Am I doing it for the right reasons, or am I doing it for fame and glory, right? Because that's never the right reason. So what am I, what is it that we're doing? And make sure that you are feeling the why as something that lifts your heart rather than something that creates a knot in your stomach, okay? So, you just can't make this stuff up. So here's the third card. It literally is co-create. The card is co-create, okay? And I love this card because you have the wisdom of the owl, okay? The wisdom of the owl, the speed and the intelligence of the cheetah, the owl and the cheetah, and then here's us, the egg of possibility, the egg of all the possibilities, the egg of infinite possibility, the egg of creation, the egg of birthing new ideas, the egg of all the stuff. Ooh, so many people today. Is 6:30 better for everybody than 4:30? We might need to look at that. Let me know in the comments. We had to push to 6:30 today because of something that came up for me. But if this is a better time for people, let me know. All right, so this is co-creation, and this card number is 40, right? So 4, so you have 4, which is the support from the universe, right? 4 legs of the chair, 4 legs of the table, that creation, that stability, that foundation of support and love that you have when you're going forward, right? So we have this where the falcon reminds us that we should take the advantage of the opportunity that's in front of us, right? And we talked about financial abundance with that. And then we had the, where's our card? We lost our card. The chop wood card. I put it in the wrong pile. Hang on, come here, chop wood card. Okay, we have the chop wood card, which reminds us that we got to get in the game. We got to be the ones doing the work. And then the next card was saying upside down, know your why. Know why you're want to make the changes that you want to make. Know what it is you're trying to co-create. Make sure you're coming from the place of goodness and a heart, and that you're not trying to change somebody else, because we change ourselves first. And when we change ourselves first, we change the people around us because they are connected to us. But we don't go out to change somebody else. We change ourselves first. And then the last card, of course, it's the co-create card. Of course it is, right? Of course it is. So this is a great time if you are paying attention to what's going on in the universe. All right. Whew, that was a lot of information. So let's do some cards. So here's the rules, especially if you're new. If you would like a card for yourself, we're not going to do mediumship today. We'll do cards. If you would like a card for yourself, put it in the comments, please. Just say, I would like a card. Me, please. Yes, something that lets me know you would like a card. We go with first come, first serve. Please only put a comment in one time, because the place where I can see the comments on Facebook and Instagram is small. And so if you zoop, then I can't see the other people get booped out, and that's how we skip people. So just say it once, and we will do a card for the peoples. All right. And so here's how it works with the cards. You don't have to tell me your question, but have your question in your head, okay? So when I come to you to say, okay, I'm going to pull a card, I'm going to tune into your energy. The cards are already tuned into your energy. They know your question, and so the cards are going to be able to pull the right card for you, okay? So we're going to start with Tracy and Heidi and Laura, and then we'll go to Brenda. All right, so Tracy, so the card for Tracy is round and round. Now this is upside down, so then every time that happens, I get that song in my head. Round and round, upside down, you turn me. Okay, never mind. So this is a round and round card. Okay, this is sacred geometry. I want to get it where you can see the round and round. So this is a round and round card, right? So you have 25 is the number, so that's 7. So this is Tracy, this is reminding you that you are going through the same things, like you're coming around the same places again, but this is the opportunity for you to change the game. So Tracy, when you're coming around and you're doing the same things over and over again and you're expecting a different result, right? That's like the definition of insanity, right? We do the same things again and again and we expect a different result. So what the card is reminding you that you have the opportunity to hang a left or a right. You have the opportunity to change the game. So when you are feeling like, why does this keep happening? Take a minute and stop and say, okay, how am I handling this? I know I've been here before. I've seen that tree. I've seen this situation. I've handled this already. There's something else I'm missing. What am I missing? What am I missing? How can I see this situation from a different perspective so that you can then handle the situation in a different way? Take that beat. What am I doing? How can I see this from a different perspective? Take that beat and allow yourself to see it from a different perspective. You will respond to the situations in a higher, more evolved way, and you get off that treadmill, right? So Tracy, this is just talking to you about you don't have to be stuck in that same thing over and over again. The same things keep happening. So take a minute to say, how can I see this from a different perspective? Okay, hopefully that is something that helps for you. All right, we're going to move along to, because you have it, Tracy, you have the ability, but there's a knee-jerk reaction of like frustration that comes in first. And so they're trying to say to you, okay, yes, we have the frustration, but just swallow that for a second and take a beat to ask a different question, okay? Because you have it within you to shift this. You absolutely do. And it feels like this is something that if you can get this, it's going to open up the whole world. Like you've been stuck on this merry-go-round, that if you can get this, you'll be like, let's go. Now we're going forward. Now we're moving, okay? So, all right, Heidi, you are welcome. You are very welcome. Heidi. This is cards upside down. It says by the book. This is the upside down. So it says, where are you trying to maybe skirt? Where are you trying to skip steps? It's not about cheating. It's about making sure that you're doing things ethically. You're doing things that are, you're not trying to shortcut anything, because when you are shortcutting, you are missing pieces to the foundation that you'll need later. However, the other part of this is it's about not following the pack, right? Because we have this picture, we have all the elephants, they're going along by holding onto the tail, and so they're moving along. And so the other part of this is, okay, don't shortcut, because you'll miss valuable information that you need to be able to have to go forward later. However, this is also about not following the pack and making sure you follow your heart, your path, and not making shortcuts on that path, but you're following your path. So you're going your way. You're not following the crowd like lemmings, okay? So Heidi, this gives you two really important pieces of information. One is you be you, right? You be you. Don't worry about other people. You do you. You don't have to follow the pack. You go your way. Just make sure that you are not trying to skip to the front of the line, okay? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, Laura, and then we've got Brenda, and then we've got Ellen. All right, Laura. Ooh, a jumper card for Laura. The jumper card says, not for you. Now, this is upside down, this card that's not for you. And it says, so this is not for you. It's upside down. And so Heidi, great, makes sense, perfect, I'm so glad. Okay, so Laura, this card says not for you. And when it's upside down, when it's right side up, we're reminded not to chase after things that are not for us, right? We're reminded not to, covet other people's things. We're reminded to stay in our lane. We're reminded to not chase after, oh, she's doing it, so that looks really good, so I'm going to go do that too. Well, is that really the right thing for you? You got to take a minute and take stock and say, how does this feel? Is this really the right thing for me? And so this card, when it's upside down, is saying it's not for you. It's really asking you to get in touch with your inner, with your heart, Laura, and say, what is it that you do want? Okay, so it's not about wanting what other people have. It's about getting clarity about what you want. Okay, so especially if you're contemplating some changes that we were talking about, there's a lot of room for change right now. to get very, very clear about what it is that you do want. And there's more to that, is about allowing the signs of things to come to you, okay? When we decide what we want, we say, oh, I really want to have this, or I really want to go in this direction. If this is the right thing, you're going to find that things are going to fall in your lap. Like, oh, you wanted to do this? Well, here's an opportunity to do that. And so allowing the information, allowing the signs and signals to come to you as well that are showing you this is for you. But it starts with us getting clear about what it is we do want. So not trying to chase after what someone else is right for them, but getting clear about what it is that's right for you. Okay, so hopefully, Laura, that makes sense for you. All right, we're going to hop over to Instagram for a second. And we're going to get a card for Brenda, and we'll come back over for Ellen, and then we'll go back over there. So hold on. All right. All right, Brenda. Okay, Loyal Heart. This is card number 35, so 5 and 3 is 8. This is really great. This is Loyal Heart, Brenda. This is about being loyal to yourself, being true to your heart, being true to yourself, staying on your path. Very similar to the message we just had given to Laura, but this is about knowing where you want to be and not staying on someone else's path because you want to be loyal to them. It's about being loyal to you, to be able to say, okay, I see that this is their path and we're going to encourage them and love them while they go on it, but I'm going to go on this path over here, and that's going to be okay because this is where I want to go. Okay, so this is about being true to yourself. And if you look, you've got the egg of creation, you've got this heart, you've got this beautiful pairing that says, okay, I know I live in harmony with others, but I still want to be true to myself and what is important to me. So I want to make sure that I am finding the place of alignment between what's good for me and what's going to fill me up and what's going to benefit the whole, the larger unit. Okay, so there is a place where you can find, and so this number 35 is 5 and 3 is 8. So 8 is the infinity symbol, right? So it says the time is always on your side. You have all the time that is going to help you to find your path that is going to allow you to go forward in the way that you want to while still being in harmony with the bigger picture of your world. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense for you. Okay? That may take a little introspection as well to be like, first we got to get clear on what it is we want, and then to be able to get clear on how we go forward. Okay, so everything that we were talking about earlier about what is it I want, and if I had all the power in the world, what would I shift, and then what's one thing that I could do to start that process. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, Ellen says, I have lots to get done. Awesome. All right, so Ellen, card for Ellen. This is building blocks. This is building blocks. Now this is card 28. So 2 and 8 is 10. So really it's 1. So you're starting building blocks right at the beginning. Brenda, you are so welcome, my friend. So this is Brenda says, hold that thought, Ellen. Brenda says, I'm never clear what I want. Well, this is the time to set that aside. So look, if you're somebody who's not clear on what you want because you're not sure what you're allowed to want, because that's often where that comes from. We're not sure what we're allowed to want. We're not sure if what we want is going to be okay with others. We're not sure if we're worthy of what we want. Just start writing stuff down, okay? Whether it's on the computer or a journal or something, just start writing stuff down. And maybe you start with, I want world peace, okay? I want my parents to get along. My parents do, okay? But I want my dog to be healthy. I want my kids to have jobs to fill them up. I want to run a marathon. I don't. I want to, what is it that you, and you just start writing stuff down, and maybe it's baloney, maybe it's just superficial stuff, but if you keep writing, I guarantee you there's going to be something in there that is going to be like, oh, now we're digging down into it. Now we're like, I want this. This is what I want. Okay, so give yourself the opportunity, because here's the thing, we talked about most people just kind of going along, right? So we don't give ourselves the opportunity to even explore what we want. And part of that is deserve level. Part of that is busy. We're busy, right? And when we're not busy, we're, cooking, or we're on the TV or watching movies, or we're just, now we're just wore out and we're just going to Netflix and chill, right? So take time. Make it a priority. You deserve it. You deserve to know what you want. You deserve to know what you could have, which you'll never know if you don't take time to stop and think about what you actually even want. All right, we're going to come back to Ellen with building blocks. So building blocks. And so this is the 2 and the 8, which is 2 and 8 is 10, so it's 1. So this is the start of a new journey. So you clearly have lots to get done, Ellen. But this is the building blocks. And so this is reminding you that you're not alone, that you are not separate from what you're building, and you're not building it by yourself. You have spirit, you have co-creation with the universe that's with you. You have the spirit that is with you to help you, inspire you, and help move you forward. But that what you are building, this is a confirmation for you, that what you are building is solid, that you are at the start of a new adventure, and you are laying a beautiful groundwork, that what you are building is solid. So trust it. Trust that you are going in the right direction. Trust that you're on the right track. Trust that you're building something solid. Trust that they are with you, helping you, and supporting you. Okay? So you are building a solid base for your new adventure. Okay? Really important card. Okay, really important. It's always nice to have that confirmation, right? Okay, so we talked about a lot of stuff today. I'm going to pull one more card. I always like to pull a card at the end. Now, remember, if you haven't commented, it's totally fine, but I'd love to. You are welcome, Ellen. I appreciate your patience while we said a little other stuff. You are so welcome. You are all so welcome. I would love to have your opinion. Or do we want to move a little later past 4:30? I couldn't before, but I can now. So I previously had a commitment after our time together that was non-negotiable. But that commitment has now ended, and so I have a little bit more flexibility in my schedule on Monday. So if we wanted to move closer to 5 or 5:30, something like that, we absolutely could do that. I don't want to get people in their cars, but I would love your thoughts. But I'd love to hear, if there are times that work better for you. I can't make any guarantees, but I'm absolutely willing to hear about it. I am going to also be starting to put back into the schedule. They came out for a little while because I was traveling so much. We are going to put back into the schedule a Zoom mediumship event and a live mediumship event in the month of June. That's going to happen, so look for that. There's going to be ticketed events. Really looking forward to that. We had to put those aside for a minute, but we're going to bring those back now that I'm done with so much heavy traveling. And so we're going to have 2 opportunities for mediumship in person and online coming up later in the month of June. And remember, please, that I close the comments on Facebook after the live is over because we want to keep the spammers away. So if there's anything you want to say to me, you can comment on a different post, or you can send me a DM. It's always good. So this last card is, it says "to be fair," and it is upside down. It is balancing the clown. He's balancing on top of the what is he balancing on? He's balancing on top of the tower. And this is card 38. So 8 and 3 is 11. So 1 and 1 is 2, which means, again, we're going in the right direction, right? But this is to be fair. So we don't want to expect that things are always going to be fair and equal, and things are not always going to be sunshine and lollipops, right? So we look at to be fair, and it's upside down, and it's reminding us to control the things we can control, to do the things we can do, and to let go of the rest, right? So to be fair reminds us that we are not in control of the universe, but that we can. It's like the serenity prayer, right? So to control the things I can, to let go of the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference, right? So this is to be fair upside down, is reminding us that we're all doing the best that we can, and that it's important for us to take time for ourselves, to take stock, as we've been talking about, but that there's going to be stuff happens, and there's going to be stuff we can't fix or control, and so that's the stuff that we give off to the higher power, and we say, okay, I release it, and I'm open to whatever suggestions or whatever guidance from the universe is going to come after it. So not trying to control everything. Okay, so we'll leave you with that. I want to thank you so much for spending time. Definitely be on the lookout for the flyers that are going to come out for the 2 events that I just talked about, and I'm so looking forward to being back with you again on Monday. I don't think we're getting together on Thursday, so just come back here on Thursday if you want to do meditation. Check and you'll see if the graphic is up or not, and we'll look forward to being back together on Monday for sure. And I want to always remember, you are worthy. Even if you're starting with $1 a week, you are so worthy of financial abundance and success. And always remember how so very much you are loved. You are loved. Have a great week.